Scanner detects signs of missing people in collapsed Bangkok building. A scanner has detected 70 signs that could indicate the presence of missing people deep inside the rubble of the collapsed State Audit Office building in Bangkok. The sensor, provided by the U.S. military, detected these signs at the center of the collapsed structure, specifically between the 17th and 21st floors, where most of the missing individuals were working when the earthquake struck on Friday. This was reported by the Ruamkatania Rescue Foundation on Tuesday morning. Bangkok Deputy Governor Tavita Kamalvaj mentioned that it was unclear whether all 70 signs corresponded to missing people, but 6 were identified as human bodies. The building had collapsed in a pancake fashion, with floors stacked on top of each other, making it impossible to determine the specific floor of each person, Ms. Tavita explained. Rescuers admitted to making progress but acknowledged that reaching the trapped individuals remained challenging. The 30-story State Audit Office building was under construction, and there was no complete blueprint available, complicating the excavation. The walls, approximately 1 meter thick, made debris removal particularly difficult. Due to safety concerns, heavy excavation equipment could not be used, forcing workers to gradually lift and clear debris from the top down. As the rescue operation entered its 5th day, plans were continuously adjusted to maximize the number of survivors. The Bangkok Metropolitan Administration reported at 8 a.m. that the death toll stood at 13, with 19 injured and many still missing. Speedboat explosion injures tourists near Phuket. Phuket, 3 tourists and a guide were injured while swimming near a speedboat that caught fire and exploded near Koh Mai Thon, off Phuket's coast, on Tuesday morning. 2 crew members from the Thailand Marine 555, including the captain, were also injured. All 6 were taken to the hospital. The speedboat had earlier left the Chalong Pier, carrying 33 tourists and a guide to Mai Thon Island. The vessel encountered engine trouble and then burst into flames around 9 a.m. after reaching the island, according to Nashafong Prunit, director of the Phuket Marine Office. At the time of the explosion, 3 people were on board, the captain and 2 crew members. Some tourists were swimming nearby. The captain and 1 crew member suffered burns, while 3 Russian tourists and the guide sustained shrapnel wounds from the explosion. Authorities from the Marine Office were dispatched to investigate, and the Thai Maritime Enforcement Command Center sent HTMS Hua Hin to assist. The Phuket Provincial Administration also sent a fireboat to help extinguish the blaze. The Thailand Marine 555 was completely gutted by the fire. Government pledges to restore international confidence after earthquake. The Thai government is ramping up efforts to restore international confidence after Friday's earthquake, Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra announced. During the opening ceremony of the Thailand Investment and Expat Services Center, TISC, at 1 Bangkok, Ms. Paetongtarn addressed concerns regarding the collapse of the State Audit Office, SAO, building, attributing it to technical errors specific to that building. She reassured that no other buildings in Bangkok posed a collapse risk as they met earthquake-resistant standards. The Prime Minister emphasized the government's commitment to restoring the country's image and public confidence. An investigation into the project's approval, design, and materials is underway, with initial findings expected within 2 or 3 days. Deputy Prime Minister Anyatan Charnverkal and Industry Minister Akanat Pramthan are examining construction materials, with samples collected for analysis. Meanwhile, Bangkok Governor Chad Chart Sitapont reported that the situation in the capital had nearly stabilized, with traffic resuming except near the collapsed building site and areas with crane removal operations. Italian Thai Development PCL, ITD, involved in the construction of the collapsed building, expressed deep regret and pledged full cooperation and compensation for the victims' families. Former MP Sira Janjaka sentenced to 1 year in prison. Former Bangkok MP Sira Janjaka has been sentenced to 1 year in prison for contesting the 2019 general election despite knowing he was ineligible. The criminal court found him guilty of running for office despite being legally disqualified due to a previous conviction for fraud by the Pathumwan District Court in 1995, which resulted in an 8-month jail term. This conviction made him ineligible to stand for elections, as ruled by the Constitutional Court. Prosecutors revealed that Sira had registered as a candidate in Bangkok's Constituency 9 on February 4, 2019, fully aware of his disqualification. Former police chief Pol Gen Saripasuf Timyeves petitioned the Constitutional Court in December 2020, leading to the court ruling that Sira violated election laws. The criminal court sentenced him to 1 year in prison and revoked his right to run in elections for 20 years. Sira's lawyer has applied for bail.